back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we are going to talk about burlesque.
But
before we begin, what's new? What's the haps?
What is new? Lots of stand-up comedy. I had the Hubcap Comedy Festival last week, and I didn't place in the top 3, but I was so lucky to be in the top 10. Felt really good about my performance, and it was a great show end to end. People performed great, and the guy who won, Ryan Whitaker, is amazing. He tried to make a go of it in Toronto and is back now, but had his great vindication by winning the open mic and
nice
performed yesterday on a paid gig. So good for him. And by yesterday, I mean Saturday.
The Hubs, that's in Moncton, right?
Yeah, Moncton has been around 25 years.
Nice. Got any gigs coming up?
The next notable gig is the 14th of February in Fredericton at the Comic Sutra, and it's the Valentine's Day Ladies Show. I mean, you don't have to be a lady to come. You can be. But it'll be 3 female performers. It'll be me, Taylor Lakeport, and Maggie Eastie, who are both brilliant, and I'm excited to tell jokes alongside them.
Heck yeah.
What about you? What's new and exciting?
Not a whole lot of new at the moment. I have not been doing keeping to my walking this week, but I have had to go out and shovel every day this week, so I count that as a win.
Yeah, I've had struggles with my walking as well. My back has given me some pretty hard times, but that's, an excuse, and have to persevere through that. But this does bring us to our topic at hand in a strange way, because I did try something new last week.
Yes, you were telling me you've joined a Burlesque Fitness.
Yes, there's a Burlesque Fitness class. A girl that I know, Nicole, shared on Facebook. She's like, somebody come join this with me. It's so much fun. This will be my 3rd session and blah, blah, blah. And I've had this, ever since I saw my first burlesque show with her friend Dan Teed, 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, that would be so much fun, but I could never. And it's but it's the idea of it has always been so appealing to me. Then I saw this shared and I was like, Monday nights, I technically don't have anything on Monday nights right now. And it's just an hour, 6:15. I was like, maybe I should click the link. So I looked at the website and I realized it's a girl that I work with who teaches the class.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, all the stars are aligning. And it's actually a girl who teaches step dance classes most of the time. Her the name of the studio is Celtic Roots. And but she every couple of months she does these burlesque fitness classes.
Okay.
And oh my God, Isaiah. It is so much fun.
Yeah, I've been to a few burlesque shows, and it does look like it's fun because it is more about an attitude than anything else.
Right. So that's okay. So that's the great part of burlesque, because that was the thing I noticed and clocked about the burlesque shows that I've seen so far. The first one and then any since, is it actually has nothing to do with your actual body shape.
Yeah, it is. It is very much it doesn't matter your shape or size. It's about an attitude and being able to perform with that attitude kind of thing.
Right. And embrace your inner sexiness and all that feeling of confidence and movement and all kinds of stuff, because it has the connotation of being very sexual, and it is.
Yeah.
And it certainly can be, but it doesn't have to be. It really is about the embodiment of confidence. And man, is it ever fun. So, the class, I've only been to one, and I will say I'm a horrifically bad dancer. There's a reason I'm a musician. It's because I'm better playing the music so other people can dance.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stiff and I'm not a great dancer, and that's fine. But trying this burlesque and this routine, if I saw a picture of myself or a video of myself doing this, I'd be like, but there is a feeling that kind of washes over you. And it was a small class. There are only 5 of us in it. And a couple of them were strangers, but I realized, like St. John, people tangentially and stuff like that. And they're all powerhouse women who were loud and fun and just like saying these crazy things, and everybody of all kinds of different shapes and sizes, and like just hands down one of the best experiences ever. Even though because of my back I needed a little chair sometimes to have a little sit down. It really was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been to like the burlesque shows that I've been to is like I was to one at the pub down under the North End. It was my first ever one. Me and my wife Andrea went to that one, and then we went to a few at Halcon, and it was like Pokemon themed. We went to a Pokemon themed one and just a straight up nerd themed one. But yeah, that was the one thing that always stood out is it's not just skinny women doing it. It's women of all shapes and sizes.
Absolutely. And so that brings me to fast forward to Friday night. Well, actually Thursday. I ran into you on Thursday night. And just before you had arrived at our haunt, Big Tide, I was telling Chris that I'd done this burlesque class, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing tomorrow night? I have these tickets to the show at the Imperial." And it was the Josephine Baker show. And Josephine Baker, are you familiar with the Josephine Baker story?
I am not familiar at all with Josephine Baker. I didn't even know what it was.
Okay, so this was a burlesque show, billed as a burlesque show, but really had some. This is the first time I've ever seen a show like this. It was one woman show. And Josephine Baker was an American Black lady who was born in I'm going to guess the 20s. And she grew up in Mississippi and was very young and kind of poor and grew up in a trailer park kind of situation. And then she married her first husband at 13.
Okay.
And then she married her second husband at 15.
Okay.
And like legitimate marriage is not.
Yeah.
Marrying because we're 5 and we're going to have a pretend ceremony. And then she moved to Paris, France. Ooh. And she became very famous as a singer and a performer. And the woman who did the show, I can't think of her name, but it was literally a one woman show. It was captivating how well she performed all of this. And she was funny. And this is the thing about burlesque is it's funny.
Yes.
It's funny and it's charming, but also like the dancing is beautiful. And this lady also sang, and she was incredible. She was a great singer. And then she'd dance and she'd flit across the stage wearing not very much. And like she was stunningly beautiful, but she was thick through her thighs and thick in the butt, which, yes, you go. That's my MO. And the Imperial was packed. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the house as the thing finished. So, okay, this Josephine Baker was this very famous performer. And then she came back to America once and absolutely bombed and got terrible reviews in New York City. So went back to Paris, married a couple more. She ended up marrying 5 times in her life. Ended up becoming a French spy during World War II, Ooh. Which was incredible. And then she adopted 12 children. Her last husband, her 5th husband, left her. And so they're all from all different walks of life. She called them her rainbow children. And finally, so she was a spy. Oh, and then she came back to America to march with Martin Luther King Jr. Oh, and sang and gave speeches on rallies with him, during rallies with him. And then went back to Paris and then performed the show of her life to an absolutely sold out crowd to a 15-minute standing ovation on her when she was 75. And she told people at that time, she said, "If I died right now, I can die fulfilled and happy." And she died the next day.
Oh God.
Which was just just an amazing life. And like, that is actually a true historical fact, but the performance with the songs and the dancing, and at one point she's dancing around with like tassels and bare chested and just tassels and flailing about and running through the crowd, and just incredible, but so moving. I genuinely don't think there was a dry eye in the house.
So the burlesque show was basically a retelling of her life.
Yeah, it was a beautiful storytelling through burlesque.
Interesting.
It was something to behold. Like, if anybody has a chance to see this show, do it. Tanisha is the lady's first name, I believe. And they drove up from Florida, she said. And
nice.
So other fun thing that happened while I was there is I got a message from Isaiah just after I sat down. And because I got the tickets from Chris at Big Ted, I was sitting in the box almost right on
the royalty
spot with the the burlesque dance teacher and the girl in the class who I knew before, because who else to bring to a burlesque show but your new burlesque friends.
That's right.
And so I get this 12-second video of us finding our seats in the box and sitting down from Isaiah. And he said, my sister asked me to send this to you.
Yeah. So my sister was up in the balcony and she was looking down, and obviously she knows that the Big Tide location. So she always looks to see who's there.
Right.
And she sent a video of you sitting down at your seat. I was like, that's funny.
Well, and she's... Actually, I've never met your sister.
Yeah.
But so I was like, I always feel like there's somebody watching me. But on their way out, I ended up chatting with her a little bit. And I knew the girl she was with, who I used to go to the gym with.
Okay.
And so that was kind of fun.
Now back to your going to these burlesque shows. Classes. Did you only go to one so far? Or
just one so far. The next one is a Monday. I mean, will have happened on Monday.
Nice. And so you said, it was fun, but your back still hurt when you.
Yeah. I mean, everything's going to hurt my back right now. And I know this is just something I have to power through, but this is a way more enjoyable way to power through it than walking alone.
Yeah. And you're definitely going to continue going back.
Yeah, I paid for the month of February, and because that's each session is a month.
Okay,
4 classes, and so yeah, I'm gonna go back every Monday, and I'll probably do the class in April too.
Awesome, and it's a big workout.
Everything's a big workout for me. It wasn't like it was manageable.
It's manageable
with a chair.
And how did you feel after? Or how did you? Let me back that up. How did you feel before you signing up? Like, were you excited signing up? Were you nervous?
Both of those things. I was excited and nervous. It helped that I knew the teacher, and I ran up to her desk and was like, okay, can I do this? And she's like, everybody can do this. I was like, yeah, but can I do this?
What can I actually do? Yeah.
She was like, I don't make anybody do anything that they can't do. And there's modifications if there's something you can't do. But ultimately, it was just all kinds of different women. 5 of us are all different, and they're all so fun and loud.
And when you are doing it, is it, I assume she gives you everyone the same routine to kind of do?
Yep. So what we did in the first class is we learned choreo. That's choreography for those who don't know.
For those layman's.
Yeah. Choreo for one dance, and then we did that one, and that was just the first class, so that by the end of the first class we could do this one dance, and it was relatively simple, but also movement, and it felt like there were some hair flips and some hip thrusts. I don't know. My hips don't generally do that, so and so then the rest of the class, I guess we're going to learn choreography to one song till the end of the class, so it'll be Lady Marmalade.
Okay, so the it's kind of like the first class was just kind of getting you introduced to the different movements, and then for the rest of the next month, you'll have one song that you work on getting to.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. It definitely sounds like a workout and a half for sure.
Yeah, but it's fun while you're doing it. Like, I find I know this about myself, and I don't know why I try to do anything different. I do well in classes.
Yeah.
I do well when there's other people around. I'm good at following instructions. I will push myself when other people are there. I find any kind of solo activity, and the walking is a struggle. Well, because I don't like it, but I know we've signed up for this 5K and we're doing it. And I will continue on with the walking because we have to. But I walked away and was like, I had a great workout and I don't feel like I wasted a bunch of time.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think that kind of is the same with when we had Becky on and she did the Twisted Fitness pole dancing. I think the same kind of idea was with her. Is like, it's fun. It's something that's enjoyable and you are getting a workout. I think that's important to enjoy your workout, right? Like it's
100%
important to actually enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, you are going to end up somewhat failing at it if you don't enjoy doing it.
Well, absolutely. And it's just a recipe to quit.
True.
It's easy to make yourself busy and feel like, oh, I just don't have time. But if you've signed up for a class, well, for me, I'm going to go.
Yeah. It's a little bit more, it's a little more easy to be able to say, hey, I've got to go do this one thing every week and signed up and the people you're going to see. Yeah.
And it's fun to see those people. And like, much like this podcast, it's an excuse to hang out with people.
Yeah.
Like, and Nicole, who was the person who initially posted it on Facebook, is kind of a new friend. I know her through comedy because her fiance is a comedian. And, that's fantastic. And every time I see her, I'm like, she's so nice. And them as a couple, like, I was like, I love hanging out with them. But like, how do you, that's the thing as an adult is like, how do you make that next step to like,
it's moving into actual friendship.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same as going to the playground and, hey, you're my friend now.
But going to a burlesque dance class is kind of like going to the playground.
Kind of. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It sounds like fun. I know that there's also male burlesque. I've never seen any male burlesque before, but I do know it exists.
I did see they brought a male burlesque show to the Imperial last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, there was a drag and male components, and it was also very good.
Yeah,
it was different. Like it was very different, but it was good.
Yeah, was that the clown one?
That's the comic strippers.
Oh yeah.
I've also seen them at the Imperial, and they're fun too.
I don't do clowns.
Well, they're not clowns.
There was a giant clown on stage.
Oh, well, not in the one I saw.
Well.
They came back twice.
The pictures I saw, there was clowns.
I saw them like 4 or 5 years ago.
It was not. I think Andrea went last year.
Okay.
When
I saw, I was sitting in the box seats again, and one guy who whipped like ping pong balls from his open legs.
That's funny.
It was funny, but it was like, how are you doing that?
It's impressive.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good for a short little episode. Episode 99.
This is episode 99, and you know what? We partied.
We did. Next week is episode 100, and be prepared. We are ready to talk
truth talk, truth bombs.
That's right. So, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Kate D on the Instagram. That's probably the best place right now.
That's the best place right now.
And we're at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook.
That's right. And I am at Maritime Brews on all of the social medias, at Tweak the Profit on Twitch and some of the social medias. And if you are looking to donate to us, we still have our Buy Me a Coffee going. And the link will be in the description below. And of course, if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts, we appreciate you listening there. If you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff over there. Or if you can come on over to YouTube and watch the video of us chatting away. And if you're already on YouTube, if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff over here, that's appreciated. And again, episode 99 down. Next week, episode 100. We will see you next week.
Bye.